Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for being here today, especially on such short notice. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. We're here today to confirm the news you received this morning that I've decided to make this season my last as a NASCAR Cup driver. The response just in the last 6 hours from teammates, colleagues, and friends and fans has been incredibly overwhelming. So before I go any further, I just want to thank everybody for making me feel pretty incredible today. You're wondering why I reached this decision. It's really simple. I just wanted the opportunity to go out on my own terms. I wanted to honor my commitment to Rick, to my sponsors, to my team, and to the fans. I'll admit that having influence over my exit only became meaningful when it started to seem most unlikely. As you know, I missed a few races last year, and during that time I had to face the realization that my driving career may have already ended without me as so much getting a vote at the table. Of course, in life we're not promised a vote, and that's especially true in racing. But during my rehab, I was given something else that I wasn't accustomed to, and that was time. Time to understand what's important to me. Time to realize the incredible support system I have in my wife, my team, and my doctors, and time to work like hell to wrestle back some semblance of say-so in this whole matter. And so that became my motivation, the opportunity to stand here at this podium to announce my choice rather than some fate that was decided for me. In that regard, the race car wasn't my goal. It was merely the vehicle that got me here today. Now, planning my exit this way gives me the chance to publicly thank those who made the last 18 years possible. First and foremost, Rick Hendrick. Without a shadow of a doubt, I think the toughest thing about this decision was having to tell you. I just didn't want to disappoint you. You mean so much to me. And so on March 29th, I drove over and had the conversation with him, and his response, he told me he loved me. Becoming a bigger part of your life has changed mine forever. You gave me guidance and direction that will reward me for as long as I live. My wife, Amy, most of you have been around long enough to know what I was like before I met Amy. Not a day goes by that someone doesn't remind me of the incredible positive impact she's had on me. Through thick and thin, Amy's support and encouragement has been constant. The rehab that I spoke of earlier, she went through it too. The only difference is she didn't have to, but she did. There were no days off. There were no hours off. There were no minutes off. There was just Amy and me. Without her help in those days of recovery, I wouldn't have been able to return to the track for this season. The most difficult thing, or the second most difficult thing about this decision was telling my brothers, Greg Ives and the guys on my 88 team. It's a privilege to race with this group. Greg is one of the most talented, yet humble guys in the garage. We are very close, and I appreciate the sacrifices that he and his family have made for the good of our team. From my road crew to the pit crew to all the people in the 48-88 shop, I'm a better driver and a better person from my time with you guys. You've helped me mature and grow well beyond the racetrack. We love to work together, and I look forward to every single trip we have left on the schedule this season. Kelly Earnhardt Miller, I think if I were to sum up Kelly's life in one word, it'd be sacrifice. Y'all know the stories, and they're all true. She dropped out of one school to enroll in military school, where I was, because she was worried about me. She came to work for me even though it meant she'd have to take a massive pay cut, but she knew that I needed her. She didn't think twice about it. She made it her life mission to have my back. I'm telling you today, Kelly, how much I appreciate that. Brenda Jackson, my mother, she loves me through my good races and my bad races, but what makes her uniquely my own is she definitely is going to tell me when it was a bad race. Everybody deserves to have someone in their life that you never have to wonder, and with my mother, I never have to wonder. To my father, Dale Earnhardt, I would have not been a race car driver If it not for him, he believed in me. It might have taken a little encouragement from Tony Uri Sr., but Dad came around. I appreciate my father, everything he put into my career, and all the guys on the old AC Delco team who gave me a shot. To all the team members and co-workers that I've worked with, I've only driven for 2 teams in my career. From DEI to Hendrick Motorsports, I was blessed to work with the most talented group of mechanics, body men, chassis builders, engine builders, and so on. As I matured personally, the bonds I formulated with my team became so very important to me. They weren't just co-workers, they were friends. We cared for each other. We could fight like brothers, which me and Tony Jr. so often did. But I needed them, and I so badly wanted them to need me. I miss that camaraderie, and I'll miss it for the rest of my life, but the friendships that I've made will live beyond the time that we spent in the garage together. To my fans, one thing that has made this career the incredible ride that it's been is Junior Nation. The fan support that I received straight out of the gate was in large part because of my famous last name. But throughout the ups and downs, it occurred to me that the fans that stuck it out and the new ones that joined us, they were there because of the person I was and not who they wanted me to be. By the end of my career, thanks in large part to social media, I've really gained a new appreciation for their dedication, their enthusiasm when we succeed, and their encouragement when we fall short of our goals. I don't think that anything in my professional career has meant more to me than the treatment that I've received from track to track by the fans that so dearly love our sport. To our sponsors, this wouldn't be an official NASCAR event unless we fired off some sponsor appreciation. So in the beginning of my Cup career, there was Budweiser. They sent me on a trajectory that was unprecedented. Steve Uline, Tony Ponturo, and their team of people, wherever you are today, thank you so much for taking that big leap of faith with me. I want to recognize PepsiCo and National Guard for their role in my move to Hendrick Motorsports. They were the ones that got the 88 program off the ground, and to this day I continue to enjoy a partnership with Pepsi and Mountain Dew. Charlie Shaver, Jim Hughes, and William Sturgill with Exalta, you guys have accepted me as your own. You're building an incredible legacy here at Hendrick Motorsports. You're fully invested into the 88 team. And you've helped me take our Dirty Mo Media from a vision to reality. For all those things, I'm very appreciative. Steve Rasmussen, Terrence Williams, and Jim McCoy, all the folks at Nationwide, our partnership dates back a really long time. Maybe you guys have heard it, but the Earnhardt family has been with Nationwide for more than 30 years. But what I'm proud of more is that we've accomplished a lot in the last 10. I hope you guys are as proud as I am. And by the way, Jim, I know you're here in the room. I'm just going to say what everyone else here in the room is thinking. Your brilliant use of the retired Peyton Manning is to be commended, if not replicated. To Jim Campbell and Terry Dolan, it's an honor to carry that Chevrolet bow tie on my cars. And I don't just mean that on the racetrack. I'm Chevrolet for life. I've been fortunate enough to have many other partners invest in my career, and I look forward to talking to them over the next several months, and I hope that you feel I did a great job for you, and I want you to know that our work's not finished. I also want to thank NASCAR for giving me and a whole lot of other fortunate people a place to race. I've never taken that for granted. Thanks to the France family for your support, and thank you to Mike Hilton, who has given me tons of personal advice. He's always shot me straight, and he's been a tremendous role model for me. The sport is in a great place with incredible, exciting young talent emerging as we speak. I look forward to seeing what the future and current stars in the sport can accomplish in the years to come. In closing, I am eager to explore new opportunities. I don't see myself really detaching from NASCAR. My intention is still to be involved in the sport on some level. In fact, I still have 2 Xfinity races to run for Junior Motorsports in 2018, so even after this season is over, you've not seen the last of me on the racetrack. But more than that, I want to be a part of the future of this sport for many, many years to come. Thank you very much.
Genuine. The one word I always think about when I think of Dale Jr., and I think we saw it there. We're going to take questions from folks here in the audience. There are a couple of folks that have microphones. Please raise your hand. You will be acknowledged. Make sure you have the microphone. We're being covered live by a number of media. But before we do that, Mr. H. wanted to first give you an opportunity to reflect on, over the past not quite a month since that conversation, your thoughts today.
Well, first of all, I want to make it clear that I wasn't the one that said we had to wear a suit. Because the first time we went somewhere, I had to get you put your shirt tail in. Today, you made me wear the suit.
That's right. A lot of things have changed.
Well, first of all, Dale, Kelly, and his family, they're more to me than just a race car driver. He's like a son, and we've had, I don't know, for many, many years, a tremendous relationship. And I really appreciate what we've been able to do together. And I appreciate the kind of guy you are and what you've done for the sport, for NASCAR, for me personally, our company, the sponsors, and everyone. And to the person that I've talked to in the last few days, sponsors, all of our partners, the first thing they've said, we want what Dale wants. We want what's best for Dale. And you have delivered and given more than anybody I know. And I'm fortunate today because you and I've got a lot left to do. Dale wants to help me here at Motorsports, at JRM, bringing the young drivers along. And we're in the automobile business together. So I feel like I'm excited about the next chapter. And you deserve everything, all the awards, and all of the accolades. There'll never be another Dale Earnhardt Jr. You're the one, but I'm just super excited and very appreciative of what you've done, for what you meant to me personally, and what you've done for our company, but most of all, what you mean in my life.
Well, we'll take questions now from the audience. We'll start over here with Bob, and then Jim behind him, and then we'll go over here to Doug, and then we'll get to as many questions as we can.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. For Dale, retirement decisions often come down to health, passion, or ability. Do you feel any of those are the primary reasons for this decision?
I don't think that one of them stands out above the other. I had a lot to think about over the last several months. And I was not sure that I would have the opportunity to compete. This season has been a blessing to me. It's been a gift to be at the racetrack, to run every lap. I don't remember myself ever being so excited for practice. On Friday and Saturday, getting up at 8:30 in the morning. Not 18 months ago, I was on Twitter complaining about 8:30 practices, and I can't wait to get to them now. I just want to have, I wanted to be able to make that decision myself on retiring and not really have it made for me. But I feel healthy. I'm having a really good time driving the cars and enjoying that with my team. And we spoke this morning, and that was the real message, really, was that we feel competitive. We feel like we can go out there and do well. We've had some odd luck, but when the luck's been there, the results have been there, and the speed's been there in the car. So I'm excited about the races that I have left. And again, it's like the practices in the mornings that I get so excited for. We complain about the season and how long it is. Well, this one here can drag on for a while if it's all right.
Okay, Jim, and then we'll go over here to Doug, and then we'll come to Claire.
Jim under motorsport.com. Dale, when you sat down with a few of us back at Speed Weeks, you said that you had not that you were going to take the first couple months of the season before you decided whether you would sign a contract extension. You said earlier that you first spoke to Rick about it on March 29th, so that's probably about a month's worth of time. Were you relatively quick into deciding that you were going to make this decision into the new year?
I made it just shortly before I talked to Rick and let him know my decision. So it was, obviously, I think every driver, thinks about retirement and how they want that, what they think that looks like for them as they get to a certain age. But I wasn't really thinking about that too much over until the last couple of years. And once I started to realize how delicate things are and how quickly that can be made for you, it's something I had to start thinking about quite seriously. But as soon as I got my mind made up, I got in touch with Rick and told him that I had made my decision and that we should sit down and discuss.
Okay, Doug.
Doug Rice, Performance Racing Network. Dale, you're sitting beside one of the most successful car owners in the history of motorsports. Should we be shocked somewhere down the line if you and Kelly decide to evolve Junior Motorsports into a cup-level team? Is that part of your scenario?
Kelly's shaking her head no over here, so I'm going to have to go with that. I'll be honest with you. I've often admired the work that it takes and the commitment that it takes. Having been close to my family's business and obviously very close to Rick, I get to see just how much effort it takes that goes into it. Not only does Rick have to manage all of his automotive industry and empire, but this is a full-time job on itself. And I tell him all the time that he's old enough to start relaxing a little bit, but he won't listen. So he loves to win. He'd rather be in Victory Lane than fishing off the back of his boat, just barely. But that's how he is. And I really enjoy being in the Xfinity Series. There's a reward that I get of helping people achieve their goals and get to the next level. Luckily, with our relationship with Rick, we've been able to accelerate that and make some great things happen for a lot of people, whether it be drivers, crew chiefs, aspiring crew chiefs. That's really so rewarding to me. That's even greater than the wins, is to see somebody get a job somewhere on a cup level, get an opportunity to step up. I feel like that we're doing it right if we're giving people that platform, that springboard. I don't know if you can replicate that anywhere else. I really enjoy that.
We'll do Claire and Tom, back to Lewis and Jeff.
Claire Beelang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I wonder if part of this takes pressure off you that you knew this decision was coming, and a lot of people are debating publicly, was this really hard on him? Was he doing it because he felt the pressure to stay or to leave? Is there any part of it lets the future open up for you that you feel like the pressure's off? And then you sitting there in a suit, you are a businessman, you own Risky River, you own Junior Motorsports. Would you like to, be on the business side of things more, and do you see that for your future?
Well, I definitely, my heart loves being in the car. I love driving, and I enjoy it as much as I ever have. There's a lot about it that I really love and I love to do, and I think you guys see that when you're at the track. We all know, there's no fooling. But it's not, I don't know that it's really emotional, I just don't like letting people down and worry about, disappointing my boss and my friend and my crew. These guys, we all depend on each other to be there every day, and to come in and say, I'm not going to be here one day is very difficult, because we all kind of wish we could stay together forever, But, I'm still going to be here and want to be an influence and a part of their success, however that may be. And I do have ambition to work. I'm not going to quit working. there's a feeling of being an asset to something. I don't have to be the guy holding the trophy, but being a part of that success, I really enjoy. I really enjoy making people happy, and doing stuff as a team. And I think I can replicate that in the next chapter of my life. I'm certainly excited about all the things that we've had going on with the dealerships and Whiskey River. We're growing the Whiskey River business in the airport locations, and the dealership is, I think, one of the best dealerships that Rick's ever opened, to be honest. So
Probably is. It is best.
First class place.
Did you tell them that they need a car to call you?
It's in Jacksonville. If you want to go down, there's the only Chevy store in town. Single Point Market.
It's in Tallahassee.
I'm sorry, Tallahassee. I'm a little spun out up here, sorry. But anyways, I'm really excited about all those opportunities and being a bigger part of that. If they're going to succeed, I'm definitely going to have to be involved and be a part of that. So, that's and I've made 2 or 3 trips a year down to the dealership, and we certainly have been a big part of the Whiskey River brand since we opened it. And I can be more involved in that stuff, but it's not going to succeed without my involvement. I know that, so I got to be dedicated to it.
We'll go Tom, Lewis, Jeff. We'll get to everybody. Tom.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Dale, this season hasn't started probably like you would like it to have started. If you had a win or 2 by now, would that have delayed this decision, you think?
Yeah, that's pretty hypothetical. I don't know. I think that, I do love winning races, but it isn't the priority as far as, it's not the one thing that I enjoy the most. The one thing that I enjoy the most about racing is my relationships with my team. My friendships with those guys and working with them. Now, when it goes right, we win races, we celebrate together, and that's awesome. But the friendships are much more important to me. Winning races is not that much fun when you don't enjoy who you're doing it with. No success is really as sweet when the people you're doing it with isn't someone you connect to or have a relationship with. So, and I think I got much better at that at the end of my career. When I was young, I was really good at running everybody out of the shop with my mouth, and now I think I'm better at getting everybody together and rallying everybody and getting everybody excited about each thing we're doing. And so, I certainly learned a lot and matured, and it's been through those relationships and working with my team, my crew chiefs, that I've grown and became, the wins were really important, and still are in a selfish way, but the friendships and the relationships that you make are things that'll last forever.
Okay, Lewis, apologies. Mike, if I can't see anybody else, I apologize, Lewis, and then we'll go with Jeff, Dustin, and Jenna.
Louis Frank of Reuters. When you look at the big picture, the Daytona wins, the Cup wins, Xfinity wins, one day, though, people are going to remember that involuntarily you raised awareness of concussion treatment, and voluntarily you're doing some major things. A lot of people are going to be very healthy, and families are going to be together. How does that make you feel?
I don't really. That makes you feel great. Anytime you get anytime you get a letter in the mail, or you run into somebody at the racetrack or wherever you're at, and they, I've even had guys within our own organization come up to me and tell me how that's affected them or helped them understand part of it, or what to do, or gotten them their own help. One of the greatest things about that whole experience, one of the greatest things about it is when I went up there to Pittsburgh and got the help from Mickey and those guys. I had some people come out of the woods wondering, where do I get this help? And then to hear their success stories and hear them go up there, get the help they've been looking for all these years, it's been a tremendous experience for me. So I enjoy, helping people get in front of the right people. And I think this man here has made a big impact on my life and set that example for me. One of the first things I learned about Rick when I first came to drive here was some of the employees, family members were ill. Him having gone through his illness that he went through, he knows the value of being in front of the right people at the right time and how critical that is. And he would put people on airplanes and fly them wherever they needed to be in front of the right people. And you would hear these stories kind of way under the radar. Nobody was preaching it. He wasn't talking about it. And, so the person that I'm proud of, that I am today, is, has a lot to do with being here, being around Rick and being with this organization. And so I love to help people. And I think that just, all that's rubbed off on me, and just being in this environment's made me better. And so but it's awesome to have that opportunity to be able to get people in front of the right doctors and get them the right help.
Jeff, Dustin, Jenna.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com, Dale. You typically wear your heart on your sleeve, but I'm having a hard time putting my finger on exactly how you're feeling today. You seem solemn, but you said you're spun out up there. Is this a sad day for you? Are you relieved? What is your emotions today?
Yeah, there are a lot. Very bittersweet. It seems like I've told you guys this so many times, and so I hate to kind of rehash it over and over, but when my dad was doing so well, and there were a couple guys coming into the sport that were sons, it was difficult for them to replicate their dad's success. And I just saw, even at an early age before I was a driver, that growing up in that man's shadow was going to be a real hard challenge. But I wanted to race, but I knew racing would put me in that shadow. So what I knew the odds of me really having any talent at all and being able to do it were thin. They are for anyone, So at a very young age, all I wanted to do was be able to make a living driving cars. I didn't set goals like, God, I didn't dream of winning championships or Daytona 500s or working with one of the best owners in business, driving for one of the best organizations. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to be able to do it. I was afraid of not being able to do it. So I guess what I'm saying is I've accomplished way more than I ever dreamed. Way more than I ever thought I'd accomplish. So I'm good. I'm good on that front. I'm so blessed and fortunate as far as what I was able to achieve. But I'm very sad because I know that led a lot of. It's definitely disappointing for a lot of people to wake up to that news this morning. I know we got a lot of fans that are very sad, for lack of a better way to describe it. So I'm feeling that emotion as well. That what I've announced today has had that effect on a lot of people. But with that said, there's been I never assume what kind of reaction I'm going to get from anything, but it's been really positive, and that's meant a lot to me. So yeah, there's been some tears. I think the hardest part, like I said, was telling Rick. I mean, me and him sit in the office and let it all hang out, and we said a lot of things to each other that I think we've both been wanting to say for a long time. You just never really sit down and get the chance to do it or give yourself time to do it. Everybody's so busy. So it's been a lot of emotion. At the same time, this isn't the end of the road. I mean, we got the rest of this year. I'm going to be in Richmond this weekend with my foot on the floor, going down the front straightaway, and this press conference will be a distant memory. So there's a lot of racing left that I'm excited about. So I'm going to be on a little bit of a roller coaster this week, but I'm expecting it to be business as usual in a few days.
We'll do Dustin again, Jenna, Chris, and we'll keep going back and forth. Dustin and Jenna.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Dale, you've almost made this sound like that this was a simple decision. You said you wanted to go out on your terms. But can you explain what you went through in the process of coming to this point, how you determined it? You just talked about tears. How often did you cry? Was it in Rick's office? Was it with Amy? How did it come to this point for you?
Well, it's hard to really spell that out. Going through what we went through last year was a challenge. I felt, I was pretty sick at one point. Didn't think that I was going to get to race, and none of us were very confident that we were going to get to race again. I could tell that was a very difficult thing for Rick, and I knew it was not a very good situation for my team to be in. Even though they did a great job with their substitutes and finished out the season really, really strong. It was really hard to watch all that happen, knowing that that I had an effect on all that and felt a little bit responsible for it. But they picked up and got through it. They've done it before. This isn't uncharted territory for Rick at all. But and I don't think we went going through that process. There was just a lot of ups and downs, and I knew when I got healthy that I'd want to get back in the car. And once I started feeling like I got to race again, talking to my docs, what do you think? I really kind of want to do this. It became about going to Rick and saying I really want to honor my contract, and I want to come back for me. To know that I did it and got healthy again. I want to make this decision on my own and not have it made for me. And so it's just a really long period of time and a lot of emotion in that period. You think you're out of the car. There's crying at that point. You get healthy. You're excited. I'm excited to be back in the car now and happy. But it's a bit of sadness to make the decision to retire, but. It's just a lot of stuff's happened over the last 10 months. It's really, we'd have to sit here for a few days to go over it, to spell it all out. But for me personally, I'm at peace with the decision. I'm very comfortable with it. More concerned with the fallout of it and hoping that the transition for the team, the company, and everything is a good one, and they've got a lot of things to get excited about in their future, and I just want the best for Rick, so I want to be a part of helping that process as we move along.
Jenna, Chris, and then Brian.
Jennifer, AP, Dale, the TV interview you did yesterday pretty much captured the essence of who you are as a racer. And there was a lot of jokes on the internet if that was loud talking Dale or if that was broken oil system Dale, but it really captured who you are and why fans love you. And I thought to myself in that moment, I said, oh, NASCAR's so screwed when Dale retires. I literally looked at Gluck and said that. So for both you and Rick, Tony's gone and Jeff's gone and now Dale's gone. What and who is there to be excited about? What does this sport need? Because this is 3 huge names 3 years in a row.
Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, just to name 2 of probably a dozen guys that I'm excited about. And I think that's all I read about on Twitter yesterday was how awesome the race was and how much fun it is to watch, Larson. And it's true. He's a real talent. And all those guys have great attitudes, great personalities. I know them well enough to be excited about how fans are going to know them in the future. I feel like that these are the guys that they're the cream of the crop, and maybe I'm the only one that sees it in this room, but I really have a lot of confidence in the personalities that we have. These guys, there's in my history of being around the sport, there's kind of always been these little gaps in between everything that cycles, whether it's fashion or drivers or cars or whatever. It never really is a seamless transition from one to the next. And I think that these guys that are coming in, they're really sharp and smart about how to utilize social media, how to engage with fans. You see the stuff that Blaney and Bubba do, and they're not afraid to really show their personalities. That's completely different than any of us older guys. We've never been like that, and so this is a new batch of guys that are going to do things in a new way. They're going to bring a lot of new color and excitement and energy to the sport, and we just got to get them in front of the fans, let the fans get to know them, and I think the rest will take care of itself. But I'm thrilled. I mean, we definitely have tons of talent. There's no question.